you doing? So we are at the final and the fourth and the final section of the Class C walk around on the Fleetwood Altitude. I mentioned in session 3 that we're at the 27U, so we're going to continue with the 27U to finish up this series. So as you're noticing, I'm standing right inside this entry door. I've got a nice clean entry to get inside. We're going to leave the rooms in for just a second so you can see what kind of space we have to get through the coach, and then we'll run the rooms out and we'll reconvene. Okay, so coming in the coach, no problem here. Walking through the dinette and the galley area, no problems there. Coming back to here, I've got plenty of space to get around to grab something from the fridge. Kids need to go back there and use the restroom while you're going down the road, whatever the case may be. Access to all of our storage, overheads, make a quick meal, fire up the generator, use our inverter, things like that. We've got all those things on board and ready for you to use. All right, now we're fully inside, still in part 4 and the final part of the series of the inside of the Fleetwood Altitude. Again, I have to mention this is a 27U, so this is the Murphy bed floor plan. I'm in the galley now, and the galley is a very important part of the coach, as is the dinette, as is the sleeping and the entertaining. But I think one of the main reasons why a Class C is purchased is because you need the extra space and you love to have that Cabover area, a place to put the kids or to use as additional storage, what have you. So we focused a lot of our time and energy, as in the last series, on the outside on that front cap, making sure that was a nice quiet part of the coach, giving you plenty of visibility through that great big panoramic window up in the front that we remember was bonded into the front cap. And we also took a lot of time to develop a series of components that make the cab area super important, and make those that are staying up there feel super important as well. So I'm going to kind of swing around here real quick, and there's a couple things I want to touch on before we get there. Wires are great, but wireless is better when it comes to things such as charging your phones, especially around where you're sleeping. So as we get up in here, we'll make sure we point those things out. Also, the material you're laying on, or what the material composition is. The material that we use in the Altitude is a product called Revolution fabric. So it's kid-friendly, it's pet-friendly, it's easy to keep clean, it's easy to wash if you get it dirty. So very maintenance-friendly. Industry standards is to use an off-the-shelf type of a fabric, kind of what we call as a throwaway fabric. We don't want you to throw anything away. We want you to keep what you have here and have it and keep it nice. So we give you the material that we use in all kinds of different motorhomes, whether it ranges from a Class C Altitude or a Class A diesel, a Palisade, a 45-foot luxury pusher. So it's great material. We love it. It's made here in the U.S., which is even better. So all those things kept in mind, that's where we keep our standard. That's where we keep our level of expectations. I mentioned the no wires are better than wires, especially in a bunk area where you're going to have kids sleeping and things like that. So as you can see on both sides, these little rectangular things, they're surface chargers. So most every kid that I know has a phone or has access to a phone, so it's nice to get inside those pockets, lay your phone away, let it charge overnight, or if you just need a quick boost, you can bring it up here and throw it in. I just don't want wires hanging around my feet when I'm sleeping. I wouldn't expect those sleeping in the bunk would either. It's a far stretch to get up to that shade, and unless we pull this guy up and lean halfway through, it's really tough. So we actually make it a power shade. So we'll go ahead and run that up. And as I'm doing that, point out the little cuddies on the side. Everybody's got something to store, so it makes it nice to have the cuddies up here. If you do need 110 power and you can't use a surface charger, we do have that 110 outlet up on the right, so you still can plug things in. But man, what a view. What a view, whether you're riding back in the back or whether you're laying down at night and you want to see the stars. It is an awesome view looking out that big panoramic windshield in this front cap. So the nice thing about this, we have the hooks for the ladder to get up there. When we're not using this, we just flip it up out of the way and it stays up there. Obviously we have the plastic on right now for protection, but once you don't have the plastic on there, that's gonna ride up there just nice. A nice horseshoe trimmer goes around the inside to kind of welcome us into the cockpit of the coach. So down in here is where all the duties are really done as far as the driving and the responsibilities of getting us from point A to point B. And we want to make sure that this feels very automotive in here. So you've got your A-pillars, great visibility here, your great big mirrors on the outside. We mentioned before that on the outside features, we have those side vision cameras that are activated when you turn a turn signal on and off. That all comes right through here. So not only do you have your mirrors, but you also have your camera system tied into your infotainment that will help you out as far as detecting blind spots. This stuff up here is pretty common as far as it goes on the E-Series chassis. You'll have your HVAC system, great visibility to your dash, all your controls for, you know, reverse drive, park, all those things are done just like a normal car or truck would be. This is kind of a cool system. So instead of using the standard Ford info system or dash entertainment system in the E-Series, we actually have a floating 10-inch screen here. It's also capable of, you know, you've got regular radio, you've got Sirius XM, you've got Android Auto, CarPlay, it's Bluetooth accessible. So all the things you would think about for today's modern conveniences as far as it goes with entertainment and things that make your drive much more enjoyable, they're all built in here. So it all comes as part of what the Altitude is. So cruising through, we mentioned the dinette, very important part. So one of the cool things about the dinette is the table swivels. So we're on a single pedestal. So getting in and getting out makes it very easy. Everybody can get in, we can sit back here. It's kind of my favorite spot back here in this corner, especially when somebody else is driving. So that'd be nice. We mentioned the Revolution fabric. As you can see, it's in here, in the top of our cushions. And we use a vinyl, one of our suppliers called Spradling. We spec out what the material is and not just use something off the shelf. So we have our certain criteria they have to meet in order for us to put that in our coach. So nice system in here as well. Nice big oversized horseshoe. We mentioned before we have two roof airs on this coach. We have the 5.5 Gen, we have the 50 amp service, we have the 1000 watt inverter. So one of our AC controls mounted here on the wall, one is mounted back at the back. The one mounted back at the back is right beside our multiplex system. So our multiplex system is standard on the Altitude. You can run through a series of house controls by going through your lights. You can go through activate your water pump, your slide rooms, your generator. If you hit your generator, you can go to Auto Gen, which is a great feature. If you're not familiar with Auto Gen Start, the best way to describe it is it's almost like a babysitter for the house. So it watches your battery levels. It also watches your air conditioner temperature, your temperature inside your coach, and it also observes quiet time hours in a campground. So once you set that, it basically takes care of the controls for your house. So if you're outside goofing around and you have some power sources on, kind of like we do today, it will recognize the fact if your batteries get down to a state where they need to be charged up so it doesn't leave you stranded. Great feature inside here, okay? Furniture, as we continue to move back towards the main living area. Furniture is super important, whether it be in a Class C or a towable or a fifth wheel or a Class A gas or a big luxury diesel pusher. And again, this is one of those places where we really don't shortcut. We've partnered with a company called Apex Custom Furniture. They're out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and they do an awesome job with creating new areas for just fantastic seating opportunities for us. You can see on the tags, they are made specifically for us. You can also see on there it says Apex Custom Furniture. This is not found in any other Class C or Class A motorhome, so you'll only find it through us. They are exclusive with us, and they are a great partner of ours, so we're very happy to have them. They come up with great innovative ideas, such as removable arms. So these arms are set in, and they're also Velcroed down. That's why it was kind of tough for me to get it off. It has two great big pieces of Velcro, plus the receiving posts that go down inside the hole. So when you're sitting there, that arm's not sitting there wiggling around, which can be a nuisance. So with our engineering team, they said, hey, how about we create a spot in here for those? Well, this is a great idea. So we put those right in here. Apex has put straps on the back so you can pull them out very easily. And that's going to allow us to jackknife our bed. And then I mentioned before, it's a Murphy bed floor plan, so it's going to allow us to Murphy bed this thing down. So the mechanism on here, super simple to operate. Two latches. So it's very much so a one-person operation. That was it. That's a pretty simple way to make your bed to go to bed at night. You have a great space to get through here. There is a filler cushion that goes in the back, so if you want to extend your mattress, you can. I also mentioned before not having a bunch of cords around your bed, around the places you're sleeping. So if you'll notice, there are surface chargers in both of the corners that you can lay your phone on to charge at night. but we didn't take away your 110. It's still right here if you need to put something away. Up in our overhead cabinets, we do have the CPAP hideaway. So if you have issues sleeping or snoring or any kind of sleep apnea, you can put your machine up in the top and run your hoses right down through a little hole we've created inside there. So, very easy system to operate. Arms can go back on. We're back to square one. So very good here. Coming back into the lavvy. In all of our decors, whether we do the Sedona wood in the front of the coach, we'll do the roasted almond in the back. A lot of your modern trends that we see have different color cabinetry, and whether it be different on the bottom versus the top, or that cabinet is different from this one, we've elected to go with leaving your living room like your living room and creating a different space back in your lavvy. Great storage back in here. Again, like we talked about in Series 3, any little place that we can find to put storage, we're going to give you that storage because we know that you're going to find something to put in there. Great storage here as well. GFI protected outlet since we're around the lavvy. Sink. And then one of the coolest things is, in doing some market research before we brought this product to market, we identified a couple areas in which consumers felt they were lacking. One of those was the entry door, which we came in earlier. They wanted that oversized, makes it easier to get in and out with, like I said, with pets or groceries or what have you. The other thing was a shower. Most Class C showers are very tight. They're very confined. You're in there, you're barely able to move your shoulders around. In here, I'll let Samantha go inside and she can do a quick spin around inside the shower. It's enormous. So as she's doing that, we'll just pan down to the pan at the bottom. Something else you'll notice that we do a little bit differently than most manufacturers is we'll actually seal that bottom ring. That pan has a lip that comes up, but most of the time you find that the sides of that ABS are just setting in there. We actually seal all of that too because we don't want any water wicking up or any moisture wicking up into your walls. It's elevated, so we keep the floor drain above, so you don't have to worry about that component when it comes to colder temperatures, things like that. We are a trifold glass door with a black frame, so a lot of the high-end amenities are in this Class C. Fireplace, entertainment, big TV. I mean, what else do you want? You come here to relax, you come here to camp, you come here to entertain. You've got all of those things right here in this floor plan. The fireplace is a 5200 BTU heater. So if you're someplace and you don't want to turn your furnace on, you don't want to seek another heat source, you've got it right here. If you're already plugged into campground power and you're already paying for your space, you may as well use the electricity. Great big TV sitting right here in front of you. Makes it great for movie night. So it's almost a little home theater area right inside your Class C. Great spot for all your chips and all your box goods and all your canned goods. Goes right into the built-in pantry. Residential refrigerator. We do have an option for a gas electric if you still want one. What we find is most common is the residential. We do have the inverter on board, which you can operate going down the road, or you can use your generator that also powers the refrigerator. We've done something a little bit different in the Galley as well. We put the microwave convection oven down below. It has a built-in 3-burner cooktop, which is gas. And by doing so, what we've done is we've opened up the entire overhead bank for storage. A lot of times what you'll find is if you put the microwave up here and your cooktop goes down here, you've reduced your size of your storage to someplace like this big a little drawer above your furnace. So by moving things down here, we haven't really taken a lot of storage away. We've just utilized that space a lot better, thus giving you a lot more open space inside here. The shelves are adjustable as well. Large single bowl stainless steel sink. Controls. Most of the time you'll find some of this stuff outside, like your whole house water filter. If you even find it at all, it's not standard on most of the competition. It is standard here. Our water pump is also located in here. That's one of those things you like to have easy access to if you're going to winterize, or if you ever have an issue, sometimes components fail. It's nice to have that right here and accessible. Just because you have a blank wall doesn't mean you can't put a cabinet up there. So again, Every place that we can put storage in here we are, and that's going to kind of lead me up to what we're going to see in the ceiling. And I'll let Samantha come back here so you can kind of pan down that ceiling. The one thing you're going to see that is missing are those series of 20 little puck lights that are stuck into your ceiling. We've actually gone for a much more modern design here with the linear lights. We actually sourced a company that was able to provide us with the linear light strips, the fillers at the end, and the unions that go to keep the ceiling complete as far as the padded ceiling goes. And mentioning padded ceiling, we're not a hard ceiling in here. We're actually a padded vinyl ceiling, so that makes it very nice, keeps it nice and quiet. Since it's not the fabric material or the hard panels, if you happen to smack one of those critters that comes in at night, the bugs and mosquitoes up on your ceiling, it's very easy to clean and just wipe it off. Now, the one thing you are going to see in here you're not going to find in most is you're going to see a series of ducts. Whether you get the single AC or whether you do the dual AC, you're going to get ducted air conditioning. So the AC doesn't just come out and blast you in one spot. You actually get the benefit of the air conditioning all the way down throughout the entire coach. That is not standard in the industry. It's standard here, but not there. So I think a pretty good walkthrough on the inside of the coach, touching on the top features. We built a great piece. We're very happy. We talked about, in all 4 series, talked about the construction that makes us different. We talked about the features that makes us different. We talked about the research that made us different thanks to the help of our customers. Storage concepts and ideas, and all the features throughout this entire product are hands down. So I want to thank you for your time. This kind of concludes our series on the Altitude, and look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.